We're looking good. Coming up on entry. Vehicle reports entry interface. We are beginning to feel the atmosphere as we go in here. It is reporting that we are seeing G's on the order of 11 to 12 Earth G's. Tank reversal 2 is starting. We are now getting telemetry from Odyssey. We should have parachute deploy around Mach 1.7. The parachute is deployed. We are decelerating. Heat chill has separated. We've found the ground. We're down to 90 meters per second at an altitude of 6.5 kilometers descending. Standing by for backshell separation. We are in powered flight. We're at an altitude of 1 kilometer descending. Standing by for sky crane. Sky crane has started.
Signal to Odyssey, remain strong.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars.
Got thumbnails.
When the Curiosity rover climbed a ridge and the skies cleared up during Martian winter, we had the chance to take this amazing panorama, and I'm really glad we did. Curiosity is inside Gale Crater, a huge basin made by an impactor about 3.8 billion years ago. The mountains across the crater floor are actually the northern rim of the crater. They rise over a mile above the rover. It's so clear when we took this image that you can even see a hill outside the crater that is 50 miles away. I love how you can see Peace Vallis, a channel that once held a flowing river, like many others that formed lakes inside Gale Crater. This is also the first time we could look back and see everywhere we've been so far in the mission since landing in 2012. Here's the path we took. After landing, we drove to Yellowknife Bay before we turned southwest through Darwin, Cooperstown, and the Kimberley. The rover studied dark, wind-blown sand at Namib Dune. Curiosity then weaved between the Murray Buttes, checked out Ireson Hill, and made a tricky crossing of the Bagnall Dunes before reaching the ridge where it sits today and caught this amazing view.
The fleet of orbiters, including Odyssey, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and MAVEN, helps scientists understand the scope and scale of storms from above.
Made this big 20-foot high cliff. And so we drilled at the base of this cliff. We took a selfie and we took many images of color panorama of our view. And I love this image because if you look off to one side, you can see the floor of Gale Crater where Curiosity landed. We've since climbed over 1,300 feet to get to where we are now on the side of the mound. And if you look off to the other side, you can see the terrain further ahead. Those are the hills where we know the sulfate minerals will be from our orbital data.
The terrain around the Curiosity rover is beginning to look very different. The rover has driven over 16 miles since landing in Gale Crater in 2012. This view is from 1,500 feet above our landing site. We're climbing the side of Mount Sharp, a very tall mountain in the center of the crater.
Seasons change even on Mars. A look at how NASA's explorers study the weather. In the southern hemisphere, where the Curiosity rover is driving in Gale Crater, it's early winter. The Rover Environmental Monitoring Station, REMS, provides daily weather reports and takes regular dust surveys to measure seasonal changes over time.
you.